show, Adley.
She has over 1 billion views per month.
Second season of The Voice.
You've gone viral for some of the biggest brands on the internet.
And she didn't do it once, she's done it for years.
Going viral online. I've never been one to completely follow the system.
Who did you need to become to deal with this level of success?
I was waiting for a suit behind a desk to give me permission to be successful. A lot of people think that we only go viral because of our personality. It is a formula, not a personality. That is the difference in good creators and the best creators in their ability to hold suspense. Good morning. Are you guys awake yet? I heard a rumor about y'all. You want to know what it is? I heard the girls backstage were saying that you guys are the most fun and energetic room that they've seen in years. Is that true? Or are they lying to me? I think it's true. I've been hearing y'all. And that's good because you guys are my people. I am so stoked to be here today. We are going to talk about how to become absolutely unignorable in the age of AI. How many of you guys are feeling super, super confident in your social media strategy, in your content game right now? My girl, let's go. We got one. We got one. And that's honestly kind of what I expected because this is a new age. Are you guys feeling like it's totally saturated out there? Yeah. Are you feeling like it's hard to stand out? It kind of is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not here to lie to you guys. It is harder than ever. So I'm going to give you guys some really, really actionable tips today to 10x your reach in a very, very short amount of time, okay? These are proven age-old things that we've done for the last 6 years that have led us to get over 77 billion organic views online. You guys want the playbook? Cool. Let's get into it. Now, I know you guys are Kevin's people, so you're my people too. And you don't come to rooms like this to have somebody motivate you. You don't need to be motivated. You're already here, right? You need somebody to just kind of tell you what to do so you can go do it. Is that right? Let's go. Okay, so that is my promise to you today. It is to be your coach. For the next 45 minutes, my job is to make sure that you are not the same person, you are not thinking the same way about content as you were when you sat down in this chair today, okay? So here is the game plan in my ugly formatted slides, okay? Before we know what we should be doing in our day-to-day social media, we have to know what's coming around the corner. I've been very, very privileged to sit in rooms with some of the most powerful CMOs and CEOs in the world talking about where the most valuable currency is going, and that is attention, and that is eyeballs. And we are all in the business of getting more eyeballs on our mission, our message, our product, and our service. So before we know what to do, we have to know where the money's going. We have to know what's on the macro. So I learn these tips, and then I come back and I tell them all to you guys so we know how to stay ahead of the curve for our brands and against our competitors. I'm also gonna share with you how to hedge your bet and how to cut through that noise. Also, the quickest way to get a consistent 1 million plus view videos consistently and repeatably in a way that you can scale without hating your life and hating content. How many of you guys absolutely just love making videos? Okay, some of my people, I'm like, not everyone's a psychopath like me. For a lot of you guys, it's probably like a necessary evil. It's this thing you have to do. But it's kind of like sports or life. Like when you're winning, it becomes a lot more fun. So my goal is for you guys to just like absolutely fall in love with content to where you're winning. You're like, this is the best thing I could possibly be doing with my time, because it is. Making content is the best thing, arguably, that I believe we could spend our time doing right now, okay? Because more attention equals more leads, equals more sales. And we're gonna talk about the mechanics of that and how more attention can functionally lead to more revenue. Then we're gonna get into a live demonstration, and I'm gonna show you how we're using AI in our business actually today, and how to know if your video is actually any good, okay? The feedback loop is probably the most important part of what we teach at Viralish. So, for the last 4 years, my calling card has been that I do over 1 billion views a month, 1 billion organic views a month. And that started in 2020. I was making prank videos with my husband, and we were averaging like 20 million views a week, which I was super stoked about. And then Everyone's at home on their phones, and it skyrocketed to over 200 million views a week. And we've sustained that and grown that ever since because of the psychology of attention and the way that it works. We've grown over 45 million followers in the last couple of years in multiple different niches using parts of this playbook that I'm gonna share with you today. I wish we had like 5-6 hours today. Someday we'll do a workshop, but I'm gonna try to pack as much as I can into everything that we have today in the next 45 minutes, okay? So if that's been our calling card for the last 4 years, I can tell you there's a major shift coming just because, thanks to AI, the last 3 months, we've done over 3 billion views on social media. You can see one page right here did 1 billion views alone last month. 1 billion views thanks to AI. That is 2 billion more than we've done every month for the last 4 years. No wonder it's hard to stand out. No wonder you're feeling like it's saturated. I'm just one person, and we're getting views like this thanks to AI and systems. But you can have systems to pump out content as much as you want, but it's not gonna be effective for you if it's crap content, right? It's gotta be good content, so we wanna nail it and then scale it, all right? So what I want you to know, a lot of people are like, I'm not trying to get 1 billion views, or I don't believe that that's possible for me, and I'm here to say that you don't have to get 1 billion views. What you need, though, is the right people seeing you often enough that you become the obvious choice when they're ready to buy, okay? That is visibility, that is repetition, that is earning the right for them to buy from you someday, earning the right to get them in your sales cycle. And so how do you get attention for cheap enough that you can have multiple touch points over and over and over again, okay? Now, these are some big claims that I'm saying and making. So, like any coach, you need to know who are they, why you should trust them, why you should listen to a word that comes out of their mouth, because we all know anybody could get on the stage with a microphone and just say a bunch of stuff. So a little bit of proof to back that up. My name is Adley. I've made over $20 million making organic content, not our paid ads, from organic content itself. That only comes from making videos consistently that get a lot of views. That's not luck. I'm not even in 99.9% of the videos that we create and distribute at this point. It is not luck, it is a formula, and it is a system. And you guys being in the AI world probably a lot more than me, you know that systems are what's gonna scale you to that point, okay? I've become, thankfully, and by the words of my rep, I don't know if he's just trying to make me feel good or what, but he says that we are the most viewed female producer in Facebook and Snapchat history. Across all of the things that we put out consistently, I can say with confidence, we still produce some of the most viewed content across social media every single week. I advise in over 50 different industries. We have over 30,000 students in our coaching company, Viralish. We create for some of the biggest brands in the world, but as you can imagine, that's quite expensive to hire us, and I don't want to scale a big agency. So we have an education division where we just teach people the same thing we go do for the big boys with the billion-dollar budgets. We teach you how to go do that for your brand as well with those same frameworks. And we turn unseen brands into, oh my gosh, I see you everywhere brands, okay? So 2019 through 2023, I'm saying this is our playbook. And if any of you guys recognize me or know my name from that era, I owe you a deep, deep apology. Okay? How many of you guys, especially on Facebook, have been scrolling and you've come across a video that kind of felt like an assault? You were like, oh my God, this is so crazy and this is trash content, but I cannot stop watching it. And then you watch it for way longer than you should, and then it wastes 3 minutes of your life. Anybody had that happen? Every single one of us. Get your hands in the air. It happens to me too. The content is so compelling. It creates this psychological itch that you have to see where it goes, okay? And there is a 99.9% chance you have seen a video either that I was in, commissioned, produced, or directed that did that to you. Now, as a marketer, why did I do that? 2 reasons. One, it earned an insane amount of money. But really, what I was interested in was, why are people interested in watching trash? It was almost like the worse the content got, the better it was. The worse the content got, the better the views were. And I had to understand why we were able to create these really compelling rappers. And if I could understand how we could get anybody to watch anything, then I could get more views on my mission-minded stuff, my heart-led stuff, the things that I actually wanted to put out into the world. And so it was a 2-year giant experiment for us of how to get anybody to watch anything. And so that is what I'm here to share with you today, okay? That's what we did back then. Now, we use our powers for good, and we've been fortunate to do it for some of the biggest brands in the world. Land Rover, Charmin, HP, Airhead, Drumstick, Raising Cane's. This one right here with the 62 million views, that's Mike Chandler. Any UFC fans? It's like boxing, but it's not. It's UFC, okay? But this is with Mike Chandler and my little brother. That was a bit for First Form. That video did 34 million views in 24 hours, 100% organically. Mike knows the more attention he gets, the more money he gets when he gets in the ring, right? The more demand he creates, the more people are talking about him. But with his protein company, or with First Form, we were able to pin a bunch of top comments and drive massive amounts of traffic back strategically from this level of visibility. One next to that, that was for First Form, a supplement company. One next to that, the 100 million views, that's my honey. And he's doing things for Heart Tools, getting a bunch of attention on the capabilities of their new products. And this one is Raising Cane's, shot right here in Nashville, as we live about 15 minutes from this very room. Okay? So if we know how to entertain people, we can earn the right to educate them on whatever they want, on whatever we want. Because people are not getting on TikTok, they're not getting on YouTube or scrolling on Instagram with one eye open when they first wake up to learn about your coaching program or about your supplement company or about dog food or whatever your product is. They're not in that mood. And if you overtly look like an ad, especially the generation like right under us, you know, they have not had to watch ads. They either pay to scroll right through them, they fast forward through commercials, those don't exist. And so if you look like an ad, ew. You're dead to them, okay? Of course you want to sell. That is the whole reason why we're here. We want to sell. We just have to disguise it a little bit better, okay? You know how much you would have to pay to get 100 million views for a tool company? We're giving people big, warm audiences to help their paid media and lower their cost per lead and lower their CAC. But you have to know how to disguise your videos to speak the language, okay? Because if people are seeing your content and scrolling in the first 3 seconds, you're done. It didn't matter how much you spent on that video or even how good your product is. You could have the cure for cancer. It matters, but it doesn't really if nobody knows it exists, okay? Nobody can buy from you if they don't know you exist. So we're talking about some pretty big views, but this playbook scales, okay? It scales. And your success ultimately comes down to just two things. Nobody wants to hear this one, but it is shots on goal. Okay? It is shots on goal. It does not matter, I've been doing this for 2 years or I've been doing this for 10 years. It matters how many reps you've put in. So if you're somebody who's overthinking your content and trying to make it perfect before you post, I can tell you, you are going to learn more from rapid fire reps than you ever will from trying to tweak things and make them perfect. This industry, social media, it is moving too fast for you to be stuck in your head. It is 100% a reps game. Okay? We've got to get out of our heads, we've got to get into motion, we got to look at the data, and we got to move with speed. Okay? Number 2, you must become unignorable. That all the brands, if it's saturated, if your industry feels saturated, great. It's going to be way easier for you to stand out. Way easier for you to see what everybody else is doing and then find your blue ocean strategy. Okay? So of all the views that we've done, of all the videos, of all the data points that we've seen, do you guys want to know the single biggest takeaway from that we could distill all of this down to? Want to know what it is? If you want unlimited distribution, you make what people want to watch, not what you want to make. You are not just competing against the other people in your niche for business. You are competing against the cat video that they just watched. You are competing against every other video on the internet. When they scroll across your content or your ad, they must think, this is the most interesting thing that I could possibly be watching right now, okay? And if that subconscious belief is not happening in their body, they will go. So we have to press on people's sensibilities. You do not have to be silly. People see my content and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be silly. I'm silly. That's natural to me. You don't have to be silly, but you do have to be interesting. So if you have a boring industry or boring product, we just have to package it different. So that's what Viralish does, is we look at what you're doing and we say, we know it's hard to read that label from inside the bottle, and you're probably just speaking like an expert all the time, talking about the features and how you're better than this. We have to package it different. And I'm gonna show you some of my favorite examples of that and then show you how you can replicate it for yourself, okay? But here's what we're up against. These are the current headlines, you guys. The business of attention, why the best brands are building media companies. How many of you have heard you gotta build a media company? You gotta think like a media company. It's rampant right now, but it's true. If you can think about yourself as a content production team and a mechanism, you will have no problem selling the dirt between your toes. Okay, you could sell absolutely anything if you put a good story around it. You can. As marketers in this room, we all know that. Your content, it is the best vehicle for free advertising that the world has ever seen. That's why I'm saying it is the most valuable thing you could be doing is figuring out how to make better content because it's free. If I offered you 1 billboard in Nashville with your brand on it, or 100 billboards in Nashville with your brand on it, which one are you gonna take? 100. Why? Visibility. You're gonna be the brand people think of. That's why we're saying shots on goal. So how do we do this well? Because this is the big boys with the billion-dollar budgets coming into our arena, coming into social media to play ball, okay? And they know that they can't be advertising anymore. They know that they're creating social shows, right? They know that they have to entertain in order to educate. You have movies like Barbie. You have House of Guinness on Netflix. These are giant ads, you guys, and it is free, and it is IP that actually earns for them. This is one I've had the privilege of being a part of and helping promote through organic. This is Procter & Gamble. This is for Native. It is a movie. How many of you guys are familiar with microdramas? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry for the ads that are about to come your way. Microdramas, microdramas, microdramas. It's for education. It's for your own good, okay? These are vertical shows broken up into 90 episodes. They cost about $200,000 to $300,000 to produce. The average one right now is returning $500,000 to $600,000. And so Hollywood is like, there's movies that make money. There's shows that make money, and that's even before the ad part, like that's before it even sells your product. It is the biggest opportunity, and the big brands know it. They know they have to entertain, and now they're taking that and they're infiltrating the social feeds. So if you felt like it was hard to stand out before, I'm telling you, the big budgets are coming, and they know this. So if it's good enough for them, and they know they have to do this, we have to do it too. So here's our playbook, okay? We will entertain the masses. I'm gonna show you how to do this. We're gonna entertain the masses, we're gonna educate the interested, and we're going to sell the committed. What I'm saying to you is we're gonna give you a way bigger fishing net, okay? And if you're trying to catch your ideal avatar is bass fishing, I'm clearly not a fisherman. Say you want bass fish. If I give you a big old net, you're gonna get a lot of different fish, but you're gonna filter out for the bass fish too. I really probably need to find a better analogy for this. But you know where I'm going with this. You're gonna catch some other fish too, but that's fine. They will self-filter out, okay, from your holes and your qualifying systems. But it's great that they know about you too, because they can recommend you. For example, I'm not a parent yet, but when a parent product goes wide, it ends up in my feed. I'm like, that's a dope product. That's really cool. Guess what I do? I send it to every parent in my feed. I'm like, you need to know about this. And so when people are out here spewing dangerous information, like talk to your core avatar all the time, how many of you guys have heard that? Speak directly to your core avatar. I would be silly to tell you to never do that. Of course you need to say, if you're trying to lose 50 pounds in the next 30 days because you got a wedding coming up, here's the best thing. Like you can talk directly to their pain points. Yes, that's perfect for ads. For social, it's a part of the strategy. But I'm trying to say there is a difference between being culturally relevant and contextually relevant. If you are culturally relevant and known and visible, you will be contextually relevant by default. Does that make sense? So we are going to entertain the masses. We're going to educate the interested. We're going to sell to the committed. I'm going to show you some examples that are more high budget, that have higher returns, and then I'm going to show you how you can do this for free with your iPhone, okay? Because the rules of this have changed. And this may look familiar to you because in 2024, what was the theme? Value content, talking head. Everyone starts looking the exact same, just being an expert. Guys, not everybody can be an expert, okay? Not everybody is an expert, and it is boring. And so that does make it a lot easier to stand out. And then last year was all about story. The best storytellers win, and the best marketers and branders, and it was all about storytelling. This year, and I believe for the next couple years, it is going to be about format to cut through the noise, where you're Brad, and you're the guy that's known for this. you're Geneva, and you're the girl who's known for this. People can explain what you do like a log line from Netflix, okay? That is how brandable your social strategy should be. So we're gonna stop doing what I call RAC, random acts of content. Most of you guys are probably doing random acts of content, yes? Committing a terrible crime. Or it's at least an exhausting one, right? You're like waking up every day like, I need a post, I hate doing this, what do I post? If you start treating your social media like a show, one, we know it's proven to work. We know that's what's working right now. We know it's always age-old going to work and be working because you can cut through the noise. You can be described and meet people where they're at, okay? You don't want to look like an ad, but if you can create a format where you have a world around your product, there is no pitch fatigue. There's no pitch fatigue when you bake a world around your product. Like this. You guys know Hot Ones? So good, right? You are watching for entertainment, but by the end, you know every single one of these buffalo flavors. And if you watch more than one of these, you're like, oh, I can't wait for him to get to this question because I know her butt's gonna be on fire because of the flavor, you know? They baked a world around trying to sell buffalo sauce. And they sold for $86.5 million. It is amazing, and it is simple, you guys. It's what we call an SRS, simple, repeatable, scalable. What is simple, repeatable, scalable? And I'll go even further, and I'll say bingeable and batchable, so you don't hate your life. SRS, BB, okay? Simple, repeatable, scalable, bingeable, batchable. Checks every single box, okay? So if you are unfamiliar with Hot Ones, they sit across from each other. It's an interview-style podcast show. Okay, and the questions get harder as the sauce gets hotter. That's it. That's it. It's so simple, but it's so fun. And look at the tension anchor there. You know the best stuff is to come. The questions are gonna get good, and the celebrity's gonna emotionally break down because their mouth is on fire, so their guard gets let down. So you have that promise, and you are tension held and anchored to see this promise at the end. And by proxy and nature and design of the show, you are learning every single one of these sauces. It is beautiful. Beautiful for long form. You clip it up, that is a show. That is new IP also that can earn a crap ton for your brand over time. Look at who's doing it really, really well for cheap. Dude Wipes. I wonder if we can get audio on this.
That's a knockout! And it looked like Tito's had the upper hand. Take a look at this bracket and lock in your pick for who you think is going to win tonight. All right, we've got Woodford up against Jefferson.
Do we ever?
Oh,
my goodness, and Jefferson takes the cake. Massive swing, two big boys, and we're moving on.
Wow.
You get it. You guys, look at these views. 60 million views on one video, 31 million views, 48.5 million views. Advertising butt wipes. Butt wipes. But guess who's the #1 category of butt wipes? Counter wipes, whatever you use them for. Probably just your butt. But you guys, you know how much it would cost to get that with paid media? A ton. It's so much money, but this is for free. And these are just two creators, Jack and Josh, and so they'll do this for protein powder. But they just created a container, literally, they call it UFG, and they put different brands and different supplements, and they swing toilets together. They do blenders when they're doing protein powders. It's fun. I am watching this to be entertained. This speaks the language of social media. It meets people where they're at. If you don't speak the language of where people are at, they're gone. And so you spend all that time wasting your most precious asset to not have anybody ever see it. So you can sell if you disguise it, and this works brilliantly a part of your marketing flywheel, okay? People can know about you, hundreds of millions of people with the right design. And you don't even have to go this big, okay? These are some friends of ours. They're doing an SRS, simple, repeatable, scalable bit. You guys, this is a, his handle is @SnotDocNC, I believe. He's a sinus surgeon. What is a sinus surgeon gonna talk about on social media? Okay, nobody wants to hear about snot. We don't, and even if you tried to make snot and snot education and sinus education fun, we don't care. We're not looking for an expert on snot on social media. We have to compel people to watch something they wouldn't otherwise watch. So if you're a multifaceted person, meaning you're not one-dimensional, you have other passions outside of just your business, as most of us are, he does a really good example of showing how to be the sun that every one of your interests and products orbits around, okay? So he starts every video like this. He says, good morning, let's pray. And this man just preaches at you. Whether you're a believer, a person of faith or not, you're like, oh, what a powerful dude. And then behind him, some of the nurses stop to pray, and some just keep on doing whatever they're doing. It's interesting to watch. You feel like you're peeking behind the curtain, but you're also kind of being preached at, and he prays over his hands, he prays over the table, he prays over the patient. I'm watching this just to get inspired in the morning, right? And so if I ever need sinus surgery, I know exactly who I'm calling. If a friend of mine has a deviated septum, I know who I'm calling. He built a brand. He became culturally relevant, not talking about freaking snot. He's now relevant, highly contextually relevant for that industry, but because he zoomed out, he pulled up to the macro. You guys know Jefferson Fisher? He's the trial lawyer from Texas. You think he has over 6 million followers on Instagram talking about law? No, he's talking about why people end up in court. They don't know how to communicate. He pulls it up to the macro and teaches people how to have a better next conversation so they don't end up in litigation. He doesn't even talk about law. Now he's got a book deal. Now his practices are expanding. We're not shocked. He built a brand that is bigger. And it is free to do on social media when you can pull these right levers, and they're simple. Think simple, repeatable, scalable, bingeable, batchable, okay? Who's seen the cucumber ocean guy? Okay, thank you, sister. Okay, now you're all gonna see the cucumber ocean guy maybe. But this guy teaches recipes, and he does brand deals with different products, and he teaches how to do quick, easy recipes. What do most people do? They're sitting in their kitchen being like, here's 3 steps to make 3-ingredient brownies. Super quick and easy. You can make it on your lunch break. We don't care, Becky. We don't. I will watch this guy make cucumber salad, though, in the ocean. If he had started off talking about cucumber salad, I'm gone. You're gone. You're for sure gone. No, we're not want to watch. And when he gives the niche right away and tries to sell us on cucumber salad, that's not what I'm trying to watch right now. But when he's floating in the ocean with a cucumber in a bucket, we're like, what the heck is going on? And he's showing, this is the difference, he's showing how quick and easy it is to make. He's not telling me how quick and easy, he's showing you could literally be floating in the ocean and do this. And it's just more interesting to watch, it's a pattern interrupt. Where are the other ingredients? Where's he pulling them out of? We don't know. And so we just have these open loops of questions. And it is just more interesting. And now he has hundreds of millions of people watching him play with cucumbers in a benign way, okay? And so we would never be interested in cucumber salad, but now we are. And now he has so many people going back to his cookbook. It's the best model, okay? This is a girl, Jen Drummond, this is her son. She does cold calling for real estate product, okay? And she's like, I have a simple, easy, quick script for real estate. And so she was just showing herself overcoming objections on sales calls to show how good her closing rate was. Cool, Jen. We don't care to watch you close sales calls and overcome objections. Some people do, but it's very bottom of the funnel. So she's always gonna be stuck in 200 to 2,000 view jail because she's just trying to educate all the dang time. And that's not why we're on TikTok. Okay, that's not why we're there. So, same thing, we just swapped the casting. If this script is so simple and easy, have your son do it. Your 9-year-old son, cold call people and sell them a roof, or whatever it was. I forget what it was. But sell them that thing. That's kind of interesting. We're hitting on parenting. We're watching this kid do something kind of extraordinary. Same bit, literally just swapping the casting, so it's more interesting to watch, okay? This is a brick and mortar chiropractic thing. That's an interesting opening shot. If you had started that video with, here's how to fix a torn hamstring, I don't care. I don't have a torn hamstring. You also don't care. He immediately niched it down to bottom of the funnel, okay? But now, he's got a big bright arrow. He just changed costuming, wardrobe, and he showed us what's actually going on inside of our bodies, which we all have one of these, okay? It's very widely relatable. Big TAM for having a body. So he just shows the art of what's going on in your body. And now I'm like, oh my God, that's what my hamstring looks like? That's what it does to my butt? Now I'm gonna go work on my glutes. I was not logging onto Instagram to learn about glutes, workouts, or supplements or anything, but he made his content in such a way it psychologically compelled me to learn about that, indoctrinate me, and now I feel bad on my glutes, so I'm gonna go buy a glute supplement or whatever, or a workout thing. Brilliant. Is this making sense? You can sell anything you want if you package it the right way. Packaging, marketing, that's all we're talking about. And this is easy. This costs absolutely nothing but creativity. So the full philosophy here is you be creative one time, once, and then we just iterate. We get data back and we're like, ooh, we lost them at seconds 12. What happened there? Ooh, George did a weird whip pan, or you said something weird. You broke the tension. Remember this, tension equals retention. Look at any of your favorite sitcoms, any big movie. The world doesn't get saved 45 minutes in. The world gets saved at the end. Harry Potter does whatever he does at the end, okay? Liam Neeson doesn't rescue his daughter from sex slavery halfway through the movie. It would be over. We have to have tension for retention. You wouldn't, if Ross and Rachel got together and stayed together in season 2 of Friends, would we have 10 seasons? No, thank you. Tension equals retention, okay? And suspense is the difference between good creators and the best creators in the world. Suspense, okay? There's suspense, I'm going back. Where is the rest of the ingredients? What is he making? What is happening? What is happening in this butt, right? What is going on, okay? Does the kid land the $75,000 deal? Is the end of this prayer, he starts it, he does our golden rule, which is the first 3 seconds of your video must create an itch and a promise you do not satisfy until the last 3 seconds. That is how we made y'all watch those 20-minute long Facebook videos that you were scrubbing through. Okay? We created a subliminal itch that wasted 3 minutes or 18 minutes or 22 minutes of your life only because we got paid for every second that we kept you watching. But that is where we learned the mechanism of retention and how you can make a video about literally anything if you put it in the right packaging, okay? So, I've got something for you. This is our program for how to create a show for yourself. I'm not just gonna give you this information and make you use your frontal lobes. That would be too difficult, okay? These are ChatGPT prompts. This prompt is gonna ask you 15 questions about your brand, about your business, your non-negotiables, who do we got to work with on camera, and then based on that, it's gonna spit out some show ideas for you that are really low budget, super easy to produce, you can start tomorrow. Now, obviously, this is AI. It's not like it's gonna be perfect right off the bat, but hopefully get you 90% of the way there, and then you can massage it, but it'll at least get you out of the white space, okay? So be sure and grab that. You guys wanna see framework number 2? This is one of my favorites, okay? This is what we call the funnel drop. And this takes you from top of funnel to middle of the funnel to bottom of the funnel content in a single video. So a lot of people will teach content strategy where you have some videos for top of funnel. Top of funnel is content for growth. It's what we've been talking about. It's top of funnel awareness. I maintain you should be doing 50% top of funnel content. Content for awareness, content for growth. Because when you see a video from somebody new in your feed because they went a little bit wider, guess what? You're gonna see more content from them if you watched more than 6 seconds. I'm gonna say this again. If you watch more than 6 seconds of a video that is served to you, and you are going to be served more content from that creator. So if we can just get you visible, get you into Discover, help you go wider, more of your middle and bottom of the funnel content has even a shot to finally be seen. Otherwise, you're just in the hamster wheel of creating random acts of content that are never visible. So if we can aim for 50% top of funnel, I say 40% middle of funnel, and 10% bottom of funnel. Middle of funnel being content for trust, content for relationship building, content for brand building in an interesting way. 10% can be bottom of the funnel, super expert, super niche, like really direct to consumer where you're just going for the sale, or you've got a big event coming up or something like that. Okay, those are general guidelines for most visibility. But let's see what one of these looks like in action. Oh no.
The number one thing your man needs from you, and if this doesn't come from you, he'll look for it elsewhere. By the way, I'm Ashley Lima, and I teach women how to bring out the alpha in their man. So if you like stuff like that, follow me. Now, if your man doesn't get this from you, he will go looking for it somewhere else. Not necessarily in another woman, but in work, in hobbies, in his friends, because something inside of him is starving. The easiest way to meet this need is simply by the way you speak. When we nag, complain, and criticize, what he's hearing is, "You're not enough, you have failed, and I do not appreciate you." That pushes him away and tears down your home. But when we speak with softness and kindness, even the simple please and thank yous or greeting him when he comes home, he feels that on a deep level. Honor and respect. He needs this like food and water. And a wise woman knows this is her secret superpower. Your words can either rot his bones or be the wind in his wings. If you want to start becoming the woman who builds her home up instead of tearing it down, comment guide for a link to my ebook, The Words He's Been Waiting For.
Cool. Let's break that down, okay? a ebook, 3 million views. It could have been a supplement. It could have been a relationship card game. It could be anything, okay? But what does she do at the very top of that video? If your man doesn't get this from you, he will leave you. Oh my God, every woman's stopping. And I think every man would probably stop too, being like, what do I need? What am I not doing? Okay? Or what am I doing that's gonna get me in trouble? So what we teach is to have 90% retention on your first 6 seconds. If you can get 90% retention on your first 6 seconds, you are going to be in the top 1% of content being served up to the algorithm, okay? That comes directly from our reps. We have tested this last couple of years across every single platform. It runs parallel to all of them, okay? Now that's a lofty goal, but it's like my mom told me in high school. She goes, Ad, I'm gonna set the bar here. So when you fall, you only fall here, okay? So if you get 82% retention, you're still doing pretty dang good, okay? But we need to think with this first sentence or two, with the visuals, with the text on screen, all of it working together, are 9 out of 10 people gonna stop and spend at least 6 seconds with me? That unlock right there, just checking yourself before you design your next video, boom, baby, okay? From this day forward, that is your mission. 90% retention in first 6. So look what she did there. If your man doesn't get this from you, he will leave you in some form or fashion of that. Men are interested, girls are interested, press on a wide topic and press on a sensibility of fear that is in all of us, okay? All of us are interested and have some type of interpersonal relationships. Got it? So then she goes into, I wanna watch this again because it was so good.
The number one thing your man needs from you, and if this doesn't come from you, he'll look for it elsewhere. By the way, I'm Ashley Lima, and I teach women how to bring out the alpha in their man.
Gets
So
the
if
call
you
to
like
action
stuff
in
like
early.
that, follow me. Now, if your man doesn't get this from you, he will go looking for it somewhere else. Not necessarily in another woman, but in work, in hobbies, in his friends, because something inside of him is starving.
So then men are looking at that and they're like, is that true? We're fact checking. She's not giving it away. So many people are like, here's the number one thing you need to do. It's X. No, you broke the tension. You gave the payoff right away. She puts her call to action and who she is to put credibility as the second sentence. Her third sentence is the same first sentence in a different font. Okay, she pretty much just said the same thing again to remind you what we're talking about. And then she raised the stakes of saying, if you don't do this, he'll look for this somewhere else because something inside him is starving. And she used about 3 to 4 sentences to say that, to credibility build and build facts and suspend the what? Curiosity. The curiosity. She twisted the knife of curiosity. Suspense is the separator. She's doing an excellent job. Now we're still top of funnel. We're at least 6 seconds in. Then she goes into middle of the funnel and she kind of tells us what it is. And that is our tone and the way that we speak. So now we're in middle of the funnel. We have the stakes are high. Our man's gonna leave us. And if he doesn't find this in us, he's gonna look for it somewhere else. He'll bury himself in work, he'll become an alcoholic, he'll do all these things. We're like, okay, I'm convinced now I need to do this number one thing. Then she soft sells what it is, which is our tone, our voice, the way we show up for men and how we need to speak and all of this. That is controversial. So you still got people, right? And so you're pressing on people's just natural sensibilities that they don't even know they have. People don't even know that if they're triggered by that or not, but you're still leaning in without giving it away and without just dragging it on for the sake of dragging it on. She's now in middle of the funnel proving her case and getting all these little micro commitments in a single video. Then she goes into bottom of the funnel and says, I'm gonna solve this massive problem for you for free. Just simply click the link in my bio for whatever that ebook talks about, for free. That thing had how many shares? It doesn't say shares there. It had hundreds of thousands of shares. Almost 1 out of every 5 viewers shared it. That is crazy. That long tail share chain is what will keep her eating off of that video for the next several months. Then she could run it as an ad, okay? That simple piece of content, just the way that it was designed, is building her list, is growing her followers, and if she's doing 5 of those a day with the right frameworks, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of her, right? She's crushing it. It is simply a structure. It is not luck, it is a system, and the system is structure. And this isn't just for videos, because half the room is probably like, can I get away with faceless? Yes, you can get away with faceless. Carousels are an incredibly powerful way to do this. This is LinkedIn copy. It is what we call our billion view formula. It is literally, there's QR codes for viralish out in the hallway. The QR code is shaped like a camera. If you scan that, I'll give you our entire billion view formula for free also, okay? But all the copy, all the scripting, everything follows that framework. And combine it with this funnel drop framework. If you want to hit top, middle, and bottom, game over, okay? So if you want, feel free to take screenshots of each of these two, because you're gonna see the same script she just did in carousel format, okay? Dog food companies are quietly shortening your dog's life. Most dogs are dying 5 to 7 years earlier than they should. Big, shocking statement. We're being poisoned on purpose, our family members, okay? They're dying earlier than they should, while many people opt out of that system. Who's opting out? The top 1%? Who's opting out of the system that is so bad? Here's what your vet isn't telling you. Great stack of sentences, widely relatable. I'm interested, I'm swiping. Then break down the numbers, get the credibility. Then by 2027, now we go into identity statements. Okay, I just made this up very quickly, okay? So I'm not saying the copy is perfect, and I'm not saying I know anything about vets and dogs. But I want you to just pay attention to the framework. This is why this is niche agnostic. Every question, everything I do, people are like, will it work for me? Yes, it is niche agnostic. I'm showing you the framework, not the brand, not the industry, okay? Then, third slide, we go into, there's 2 types of people, which is pretty much people who let their dogs die and people who won't. Guess which side you're gonna have a micro commitment to be on, okay? Then, according to more facts that I just made up quickly, okay? Nothing on the internet is true. I hope you guys are publishing real things, because other people, this is just for example purposes, I have not published this, but it's very, very powerful. This is how propaganda starts. This is what people pay us to do, but we do it ethically, okay? All of us in this room, we're gonna use our powers for good. We're just showing you how to story tell your product differently, okay? So, top animal nutritionists agree. So do you disagree with top animal nutritionists? No, you're not going to. Most people aren't. Then picture this life. Then we walk through a visual of how amazing your dog is gonna be able to stay with you forever now. Here's, again, make them angry, what they won't tell you. Right now, peptide producers are fighting to build market share. Direct-to-door delivery, no vet prescription required, pricing that undercuts every major brand. Great news. But once the big players acquire them, those prices will climb. Access gets gate-kept. The time to switch over is now. Be an early adopter. Get the goods now. Be the cool kid before your dog even shows symptoms, not after. You can't out-supplement a bad foundation with more bad supplements. Complaining about the food industry, so now we're objection handling, okay? Complaining about it's not doing you any good. The system is rigged, but top 1% of dog owners opt out of the system. Peptides aren't a vitamin. They're a peptide protocol. Your dog's body actually holds on to them 5 times longer than anything that you're buying for them currently. Right now, they need proof of concept. So then why is this information out here? Why do I believe this? Here's why this is leaking, okay? No vet requisite. This is where we sell features, okay? I'm going quicker because I'm almost out of time, and I want you to be able to take a picture of all these screenshots. Then they want your dog to get results because then they get testimonials. We're building, you're a part of something, okay? This isn't them trying to sell you something. This is an invitation to be a part of something bigger, saving dogs around the planet with peptides, okay? This is the biggest shift in pet health in 30 years. You can start today. Personal story. I started peptides. My life changed. My got better. Your move, comment pup, and I'll send you the exact protocol, what I gave him, how much, when I started seeing results for free. Stop paying the sick dog tax. People who figured this out are already making the switch. It's your turn, okay? You can spin these up by the hundreds once you have frameworks. Literally plug them into your LLM of choice and say, here's my person's struggle, here's the topics that we cover in our content that we could go on for years about, here's the desire of my core avatar. In Viralist, we teach, this is the STD method. Struggle, topic, desire. With 10 struggles, 10 topics you teach on, and 10 desires of your core ICP, you can mix and match that a million different ways. So plug that into your LLM and say, give me 90 ideas with just the STD framework. So we can just give you these frameworks you plug in, and you will have highly proven content across all funnels, mechanisms, and copy for a very, very long time that are proven to work, okay? But you have to nail it before you scale it, all right? So how do we know if we've nailed it? I'm gonna show you exactly how we're using AI in our company to know, Adley, I made a good video, is it any good? all of our coaches, we just do coaching calls where we tell people how to fix it because we know these frameworks so intrinsically. We're just tweaking wireless people constantly. And so we've made an AI. You guys are the second group I've ever showed this to you, so you're like one of a few hundred people who know about this. It is still in beta, but I want you to test this out, okay? You can see exactly how it works, and it's free. Go to your Instagram, grab a link of a post that didn't perform very well, okay? You're gonna copy that link, and this could be, I believe, we have YouTube, Facebook, TikTok as well. Copy the link. Text that link just to this URL. Text that link to this URL. And you will get an immediate response. There's no sign-in required, zero friction. You'll get a text that looks something like this, and you'll be texted back when your audit is ready, okay? Yeah? 866-40-23456. Okay? Zero friction. So you can also see how we're building this funnel in real time. So if we can get you giving free active feedback on your content, this feedback is based on over 75 billion data points that we've ingested from highly performing content. Okay? Now, this is based on probabilities. Are there outliers? Of course. Okay, but based on probability, it's going to rate your video on 3 things: hook, relatability, retention. Hook, relatability, and retention. You're gonna be able to scroll through, get some tips and tricks to go back and edit that video prior to posting, okay? You guys, everything that you want is on the other side of knowing how to fundamentally design high-reach content. If you could just print attention on demand and get 10,000 views anytime you want, 1 million views anytime you want, 1 billion views anytime you want, you should be a cash machine. And it all comes down to frameworks. And I get pushback a lot, people saying, well, views alone don't put cash in the bank, Adley. You're not just gonna get paid off views. And that may be true. For most people, that is true. But if you want more high quality leads, guess what? More people gotta see your stuff. If you want more revenue, you have to get more leads. If you want to sell for millions of dollars and have a giant exit, you gotta build a brand so you can get that fat multiple. It all flows from attention, everything that you want. Visibility is just the first domino that has to fall because nobody can buy from you if they don't know you exist, okay? You do not need $1 billion budget. You need billion view frameworks, and now you have them. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for your time. Talk to you very soon. Bye. Bye.